Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Markus Olind Loves Porn and Capitalism. If you haven't watched the Joe Rogan with Alex Jones and Tim Dillon, don't want to forget Tim Dillon. If you haven't watched that yet, spoiler alert, I might talk about it just a little bit. Okay? So if you don't want it spoiled, go watch it and don't watch this. But if you have seen it, you know it's pretty standard, right? It was a Joe Rogan episode with Alex Jones. Alex Jones said a lot of crazy shit. All of it happened to be true. What do you know? What do you know? Now, there are some conspiracy theories about this episode. Now, obviously, if you don't know, it's been taken down and re-uploaded and taken down and re-uploaded on Spotify. But shout out to my buddy Lewis Carr, because he pointed this out to me, and I don't know if he invented it, but if you go to the YouTube clip, 2 hours and I believe 52 minutes and 17 seconds into the podcast, some weird shit happens. I don't know if Joe Rogan's compromised. I'm just saying, it kind of looks like he's playing with an earpiece and there's a woman talking to him and he looks over to the side like there's someone telling him, wrap it up. Can't have Alex Jones going for 5 hours, all right? But I think people want that. I think people need that. That's the number one listened to podcast right now, and the second one is him with Kanye West. And I also listened to the Kanye West one, and all right, and he said some crazy shit, but he also said a lot of cool things, just like Alex Jones. Now, I'm a big fan of Alex Jones. I don't want to say I'm the biggest fan. I'm not world's largest Alex Jones fan, but I enjoy the guy. Okay, I think he's got a lot of spunk, okay, energy. He's a high-energy guy. One of my favorite moments, probably in comedy history, is when Alex Jones he was supposed to do an opening set for Doug Stanhope in Austin, Texas, and Alex Jones went off. You can find it. Look up Alex Jones, Doug Stanhope, Austin incident. Dude, if you love comedy or Alex Jones or both, you owe yourself to watch this clip, because it's Jamie Kilstein, actually, who's been on Joe Rogan. He, I think, was hosting the show. He brings up Alex Jones to do some time before Doug Stanhope goes up. And Alex Jones does what Alex Jones does. He starts talking about the fucking truth, man. He's talking about Bohemian Grove. And he's talking about, Skull and Bones and all this shit. And how there's going to be, you're breathing depleted uranium if you're fighting the war or whatever, right? So he's talking about all this stuff on stage at a comedy show where there's like a bunch of people waiting to see Doug Stanhope tell jokes, and now they get to watch Alex Jones. People got upset. People started to boo him and yell at him, and Alex Jones doesn't give a fuck. Alex Jones just kept yelling at these motherfuckers. He was almost starting fights with people in the audience. It's pretty cool. You gotta watch it, all right? If you haven't seen it, type in Alex Jones Austin incident. Maybe type in Doug Stanhope too. It'll help you get there. Long story short, Alex Jones is amazing. I love Alex Jones because he's something that can only exist in the United States of America. Someone at that level, and they try to shut him down even here. It's even hard for him to exist in America. Understand, Alex Jones, an Alex Jones type character, does not exist in communist China, does not exist in Russia. I don't want to say there aren't anti-government people out there who have big radio followings in these other countries, but not like Alex Jones. Alex Jones is an American treasure. Alex Jones is what Americans should strive to be. Not overweight, but overinformed, okay? Most Americans are underinformed and overweight. Alex Jones is overinformed and overweight. And he even admitted it on the podcast. He's like, I probably need to lose some weight. And I hope he does. He even said he's going to retire in a year. And you know what? If that's what he wants to do, honestly, good for him. If he retires, if that's what he wants to do, go for it. Honestly, do what you want to do. But it was just so amazing to watch this because Alex Jones was on point for about an hour and a half. And Joe Rogan, to his credit, all right, a lot of people are shitting on Joe Rogan. Almost everybody's shitting on Joe Rogan, and not for what I was talking about with the 252-17. Look it up. Go Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, Tim Dillon episode, 2 hours, 52 minutes, 17 seconds. Watch it. Make of it what you will. I don't even know what to make of it yet. It's weird, though. It kind of sounds like there's another person in the room who may be telling Joe Rogan what to do. I don't want to say he's compromised. I love Joe Rogan. Big fan, but maybe, just maybe, Spotify doesn't like it. when he has Alex Jones on the podcast for 3 hours. And they were like, look, he's already said a lot of shit, and they really didn't want him to get to the anti-vaxxer shit, which is what he did at the very end of the podcast. Again, spoiler, I don't give a fuck. I told you at the beginning. At the very end of the podcast, Alex Jones is fucking hammered, by the way. And he's just like, this is the most important thing we've said all day. I can't do a good Alex Jones, but he's like, this is the most important thing we've said all day. And he starts going into why vaccines are dangerous. And it is hilarious because Joe Rogan is clearly uncomfortable. He's like, dude, Jesus fucking Christ, Alex. The anti-vaxxer shit, that's what we got to go with, is the anti-vaxxer shit. That's what we got to close on. And here's the thing. Alex Jones, like I said, for an hour and a half was just spot on point. And he was pounding. I don't know if he was drinking whiskey. I don't know what he was drinking, but he was drinking heavily. And can that guy handle his shit? I would have been blacked the fuck out saying nonsense. He was sober seeming. He was drunk, but he was still spouting facts. This is a guy who went to Joe Rogan with papers. Literal printed out articles. My favorite was when he started reading off his own notes, right? He's reading shit off and Joe Rogan's like, who wrote that? And he's like, I wrote that. Alex Jones is like, this is what I fucking wrote. But there's a point in the podcast, and if you go and watch the whole thing, you'll notice this point. I don't know if it's, an hour and a half, 2 hours into the podcast, but Alex Jones stops giving a fuck about being conspiracy guy Alex Jones, and he just becomes a comic. He becomes the funniest person on the podcast because he just starts looking for, where can I insert comedy? Because fuck it. And the best moment was they were talking about, I don't know if they were talking about the tech industry, tech giants, big tech people, big billionaires. They were talking about the Epstein thing. They were talking about how, Epstein was big into tech. He used to get a lot of tech people to come to his island so that they could put him in compromising positions. And it's probably true. Because think about it, man. If you want to run a one world government, if you want to run everything, you got to have big tech. Big tech is the one who does it. They're the ones who censor the White House. They're the ones who do whatever the fuck they want. You saw Jack Dorsey looking like a bitch. Weak-ass beard, okay? Weak-ass beard from Jack Dorsey. Just gonna say it, bro. Come on. You got no fluff out here? It's all here? That's it? That's all you can grow? Weak. Weak sauce. But you got Jack Dorsey saying that you're allowed to deny the Holocaust on Twitter, but you can't tweet a link about Hunter Biden. I don't know. Seems strange. Just kind of seems like big tech has gone off the rails, all right? And Jeff Epstein knew that big tech could be manipulated like this, and that's why he was friends with a lot of these big tech people. Okay, and Alex Jones brought that up specifically, and they were talking about Bill Gates. And then Joe Rogan goes, why does everyone hate Bill Gates? And Alex Jones, perfectly timed, goes, because he's so sexy. And he just said it, and it was the funniest fucking shit, dude. Alex Jones had some goddamn moments on that podcast that will never be forgotten. He again mentioned that he's retarded. That's so fucking funny, dude. Alex Jones, he's just hilarious. He is hilarious. And, they had some old footage of Alex Jones that they played on the podcast. I know that's gotten a lot of backlash. He's a Trump supporter. He's a huge Trump supporter. That's why a lot of people don't like him too. But just simply that. And a lot of people will not like you. I mean, just today, as I'm recording this, I come home and I before I start recording this podcast, I look on Twitter. What do I see? Lil Wayne, the rapper, he's now Little Wayne. Little Wayne has endorsed Donald Trump. He said, look, man, I'm with Donald Trump. Ice Cube, 50 Cent, I think he pulled it back. I don't know if 50 Cent is still endorsing Donald Trump, but Lil Wayne just endorsed him. He's got most of the rappers who were, with Obama. Like, all these rappers were, like, super pro-Obama, and now they're Donald Trump supporters? It's kind of weird. It's kind of strange to see. And obviously, this is, the last episode before the election. I'm hunkering down. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm going to go vote in person. I'm interested to see how it goes. I took my my girlfriend to go vote early, and there was still a line to vote early. I'm going to go on election day. I'm going to go very, very early in the morning. I'm going to wake up. I'm not an early morning person. That's why I'm recording this late at night, because I'm not a fucking morning person. But for America, I will be. I'll get there early. I'll have my Barry Sanders jersey on and probably a jacket because it's getting cold. But I'll be out there. And I'm not telling you to be out there. I don't give a fuck what you do. I'm going to be there and I'm going to vote early. Still trying to figure out who I'm going to vote for. It's probably going to end up being Kanye West. I listened to his Joe Rogan podcast too. And that's the thing. Shout out, people shit on Joe Rogan, but think about it, dude. He just had Alex Jones and Kanye West back to back right before the election. You can call him a sellout. You can call him whatever you want. He still had Kanye West and Alex Jones on his podcast the week before the election. Call him biased, call him a sellout. I don't care what you call him. He had the balls to have Alex Jones on the podcast when he had him on the podcast right before the election. It's amazing. Now, was he the best interviewer of them? I don't know. Now, Alex Jones kept being like, dude, you need to be high for this. You need to be high for this. I don't know if that was it. I think it would have been more fun if Joe Rogan had been high. He would have gotten drunk, though, and drunk Joe Rogan, he's kind of tough to watch. I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan, but drunk Joe Rogan can be tough to watch it sometimes. High Joe Rogan, fun. Fun guy. High Joe Rogan is fun. Sober Joe Rogan, I don't know. Because here's the thing. So, Tim Dillon, he's sober. Joe Rogan was doing Sober October, but Tim Dillon sober is still hilarious. He's hilarious. Alex Jones drunk is the funniest person on the planet. And Joe Rogan sober just isn't quite the same. You need him high. There's a reason he did a show, Joe Rogan Questions Everything. Because when you're high, you question everything. But he was questioning everything in a whole nother way. He was doing it in this way of like, well, hold on, I don't want to spread misinformation because Spotify is going to kick my ass if they do. I don't know if that was the case, but it kind of seemed like he didn't want to go too far without verifying a lot of the facts that Alex Jones was just spitting out there, man. Alex Jones is a fact machine, dude. He just spits them out all day long. And it was great because Tim Dillon was there like, no, he's actually right, Joe. I know you want to look it up for your audience, but he is right. He's correct. And here's the thing. He is right. They do want to phase out cash. They do want to phase out humans. Dude, you already see it with this whole national change shortage. Are you kidding me? You can't go to the fountain of any small town in America, steal all the change of all the kids' dreams that aren't going to come true because of COVID and everything else. You can't take that and flood it into the market. I don't believe the change shortage. I think they put that on every McDonald's to get people to buy with fucking card because they want to track who's fat, right? They want to track who's where so they can track, there was a COVID exposure at that McDonald's. We know you went to that McDonald's, so now you got to quarantine for 3 months. They want to do that. They want to control you like that. They talk about this tracking and people are like, isn't it great? They can track who I've come in contact with so I don't get COVID. Oh my God. Are you fucking nuts? They're going to know where you are. They already know where you are, but now they're going to have a legal excuse to be able to track that and fucking use that information. And you're fine with that? Are you fucking high? Because I'm high and I'm not fine with that. But I was glad that episode came out, man. I watched that and I was like, dude, this is what America needed right now. America needs truth tellers. In this age of censorship, okay, in this age of cancel culture, in this age of fucking big tech, Jack Dorsey and his weird looking ass being able to do whatever they want, I think you need Tim Dillon saying that 52% of Michiganders agreed with the plot to kidnap the governor. It was funny. Okay, it was funny. A lot of people don't understand funny. I did 3 shows tonight, dude. One fucking lady was like, She got really weird at one of my jokes. And I did that joke later in the night at a different show and everyone laughed. And it was like, yeah, because they understood it was a comedy show. This fucking lady was like, is that racist? Is it? That's my favorite thing to do, is when you can twist people around and make them feel like, wait a minute, he's being racist, but he's not racist. When you force them to try and pull out their fucking Ouija board of wokeness and they're like, how does this align? Does this align into my views? It's like, dude, if you have to pull out literature to figure out what your fucking views are and if you're allowed to laugh at something, dude, you got to get your shit together. Not enough people think for themselves. And that's why I think a lot of people don't like Alex Jones. A lot of people don't like your Kanye Wests, for example, because look, he just thinks and thinks and thinks and thinks and thinks. And sometimes he thinks a little bit crazy. Sure. Sometimes he says he's a genius. Sure. But he doesn't say what other people tell him to say. And that's why I think a lot of people are going to get mad at Lil Wayne now, too, because they were like, dude, why are you endorsing Trump? And he's like, bro, because I fucking want to, dog. I'm Lil Wayne. I can endorse whoever I want to fucking endorse. And he should be able to. You should be able to have the freedom to express yourself like that. That's the beauty of what America's supposed to be. And I had a friend, Ryan Willandy, shout out Ryan Willandy. He had asked, why the love of capitalism? I had put out on Twitter, if you have any questions for the podcast, and you could tweet it back. Why the love of capitalism, man? Because capitalism has this idea of competition within it. Capitalism allows for the free exchange because it understands that everybody's coming from a different angle of it, all right? And you shouldn't be blocked out of things just because you're not coming from the same angle as someone else. You should be able to compete with that person and be like, no, I see your hand and I will raise you my hand, and you compete no matter what it is. All right. What I don't like is state planned, centrally planned economies. It doesn't make any sense. Why would the government understand the demand of its people? They wouldn't. They don't now. Imagine if the government controlled the supply of food. Like straight up across the board decided how much food goes to every single different area rather than the free market. I would rather have the free market do that. The free market is like, hey, look, dude, we're selling way more potatoes over here. Clearly the people there need potatoes and want potatoes. Let's send more potatoes there. A state planned economy is like, well, everybody gets, 50 potatoes for the year. Everybody. Doesn't matter how many people you have there. None of that shit matters. It's only what is centrally planned. And what I don't get is this whole idea of like, communists tend to be utopians. And my buddy Ryan, I love you, buddy, but you're a utopian. You're very much a utopian. You're someone who believes in this beautiful world that we can all live in where everybody gets along and loves each other. The problem is people don't all operate like that. A lot of people operate on what's in their very own best interest. And in a situation where you would have communism, you're going to have somebody who's going to be in charge. You can say everyone's on the same level. We're all comrades and shit. But guess what? Eventually somebody's going to be like, well, let me have a little bit more say. That's how people are. That's how societies function. Unfortunately, people are manipulative. Okay? And even in capitalism, it's not a perfect system. People manipulate it. Okay? People are manipulative in every single system that ever exists. The problem is with capitalism versus communism. In communism, when someone manipulates it, they become a dictator. And I just saw, or I heard on the radio, Michael Bloomberg saying that Xi Jinping is not a dictator and that the Communist Party of China listens to the demands of their constituents. And I'm like, that's hilarious. That is hilarious, okay? I would rather have a country like America where you can openly mock the president and call him an orange man and say his haircut is BS and all this shit. And guess what? You get to go and buy your McDonald's and your Starbucks and you get to go and live your life after that. In China, you call the president Winnie the Pooh, you're done. You're in prison. I don't like that. And I understand the idea is, yeah, but capitalism, it marginalizes some people. Yes, it marginalizes some people. Communism also marginalizes a lot of people. A lot of people under communism end up dying, starving, not having what they need, not even to mention the fact that they lose tons of their freedoms. Now, you can say, okay, we could have a communist system that has freedoms. The only problem is I've never seen that. I've never seen it implemented. And the other problem is every single time communism has been tried or implemented, and I know communists hate to look at the past, they only like to look at the future. That's one of the problems with communism. They don't learn from their fucking mistakes. They don't. Otherwise, China wouldn't be the way China is right now. And you can praise China all you want, but it's like, dude, think about it. They have millions of people in prison, camps, okay? I know we have a lot of people in prison in America, okay? Understand that, but we don't have prison camps, okay? Just because of your religion. They send people who don't agree with the government. And it's funny because people will look at this and be like, well, I didn't agree with the government law about what he did, and they threw me in jail. I get it. I understand that point. But criticizing the government itself doesn't get you thrown in jail. That's a sign of a free society when you can criticize the government and not get thrown in jail. I would rather live in a free society. Capitalism tends to lead to a freer society than communism, is my point. Just historically, factually, currently. And I would like a free society. I like to do weird shit. In communism, weird shit's not allowed. You can't be weird in communism, okay? They kind of frown upon it. You have to conform in communism. That's one of the big things about communism is conformity. And I remember in school, they told you don't conform. I remember reading One Fish, Two Fish, or whatever the fuck that book is that one dude wrote. What is this, Dr. Seuss? I know Dr. Seuss wrote some crazy shit, but one of the things that Dr. Seuss wrote was that book where people had the little star and then they didn't have the star and then they had the star and didn't have the star and everybody got labeled and put into groups and all that shit and people kind of got manipulative because that's how they are. Dr. Seuss, what was so amazing about Dr. Seuss is he wrote these children's books that had these wacky characters and colors and great morals and stories, and at the same time, he vehemently hated Japanese people. Like, he hated Japanese. If you don't know, Dr. Seuss fucking hated Japanese people. Big time. Bigly, all right? He did not like the Japanese. I mean, he was around in World War II. There were a lot of Americans who did not like the Japanese at that time. They did bomb Pearl Harbor, but there were also a lot of Americans. And again, here, perfect example. American people of Japanese descent getting thrown into prison camps in World War II. Obviously, a stain on America's past. One of many. But currently, you don't get thrown in jail for criticizing the government. And if you want to point at the protesters, it's like, dude, the people getting thrown in jail for protesting, they're breaking buildings. They're tearing shit down. They're looting. The looting in Philadelphia right now. You watch the looting tapes in Philadelphia. Are you watching this? Dude, the apocalypse is on the internet right now. It's amazing. The Civil War stream. Are you streaming the Civil War? Are you not streaming? Because it's pretty awesome. I don't know why you're not doing it. Should totally be doing it, man. I've been watching a lot of American Dad. I like some of these more conservative cartoons. They're obvious. I mean, Seth MacFarlane wrote or is one of the creators on American Dad. Obviously, he's a very liberal guy. But I like these cartoons like like American Dad, where they kind of show conservatives in a funny light, because conservatives are hilarious. Liberals aren't the only ones who are funny. Actually, sometimes liberals are far less funny. When they are super left-wing and get butthurt about every single joke, those people aren't funny. Just like right-wing conservative people who get butthurt about jokes because I'm super Christian. Those people suck too. The fun people are in the middle. That's where the fun people are. The most fun people in America probably aren't voting. The most fun people in this country are the Kardashians, and they're living on a fucking island right now. Those are the most fun people. They're having the best time right now. They're millionaires. They're hot. They all got a nose job. They just got a private island. They didn't bring any kids to fuck there. They just brought each other. What a great family. Their crazy cousin Kanye's on Joe Rogan. They get to watch him on the island. What a family. Imagine if the Kardashians were America's first family. Could happen if Kanye gets elected. It'd be interesting if Kanye gets elected. I don't really know what's going to happen, because I think first and foremost, people are wondering, is Trump going to accept the results of the election? Fair question. He's even said he doesn't know if he's going to. But I think if Kanye won, I think Trump would be like, all right, I lost to Kanye. He's a winner. I think Trump would be down to lose to Kanye. I think he'd be like, he's a winner. I lost to a winner. Happens. I don't think he's down to lose to Joe Biden. And it's so crazy right now with the whole Hunter Biden scandal. Most people don't even know about it. I feel like most people are like, it's a false flag. It's like, is it? Because it seems to me that Hunter Biden, a crackhead, and hey, nothing against crack, all right? If you like crack, smoke crack. But if your dad is the vice president, maybe put the crack pipe down. Get some help, buddy. Get some help. The problem was, he was trying to get some help. He was doing a lot of business deals, and they kind of just sound like a corrupt family. You got Hunter Biden, and you got Jim Biden, who is Joe Biden's brother. Now, Jim Biden, I think, is the scummiest one of them all. If you look at Jim Biden, dude, like, this is a fucking guy who used his brother's influence in Washington to leverage into all kinds of different business dealings. Hunter Biden did it as well, and they were all teamed up on it. And they're basically using Joe Biden as a what's the word for it? It's influence peddling. That's the word that they call it, influence peddling. All right, they're like, hey, you want to do business with us? Hey, my brother, he's kind of high up. And if you think about this, on any scale, no matter what you do in your life, there is influence peddling that happens. You see it in comedy. People are like, hey, I know this guy, all right, you should fuck with me. And it's like, yeah, but you're not that guy. Why should I fuck with you? But yeah, I know that guy, though. Oh, okay, so you know that guy, so now I got to fuck with you? It happens. Every single industry, it happens. Obviously, it happens in politics. Politics is the most corrupt industry because it's not a fucking industry. It's bullshit. Politics is all bullshit. And I really hope that as a country, we can grow up next week and realize that no matter who wins, we as Americans need to continue doing shit. Like, just keep doing shit. Keep going to work. Now, I know a lot of people aren't employed, but whatever you do, just do that. Okay? Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are like, well, all I do is protest and riot, and they're going to do that. There's going to be protests and riots no matter who wins. If Joe Biden wins, there's still going to be protests and riots because people on the left don't really like Joe Biden. They'll settle for Joe Biden. They think they can manipulate Joe Biden. Again, influence peddling. Well, at least with Joe Biden, we can get some of what we want, and maybe we can force him to get more of what we want. Here's the problem. I got some literature from Joe Biden the other day in the mail. He sent it, a bunch of shit in the mail from Joe Biden, just wasting paper, just killing trees, trying to get my vote. And one of the things it said is, I'm not the candidate that Wall Street wants. I'm like, you are literally the candidate that Wall Street wants. I've been watching my stock, and this normally happens, going into an election. The stocks will go down a little bit. They'll kind of steady out. Nothing too crazy will happen because everybody is hunkering down for the election. A lot of people sell. Right before the election, okay? There's a reason for it. They fear that if the wrong person gets elected, shit's going to tank, boom, okay, they lost all their money. This is when you buy. And this is not financial advice, obviously. This is just thoughts. But this is, because shit's, it's going down a little bit, all right? This right now is when you should buy a little bit, because then, no matter who gets elected, the economy is going to go back up. If it's Joe Biden, they're going to be like, oh, sweet, we own Joe Biden. If it's Donald Trump, they're going to be like, oh, sweet, low taxes. Same shit we've been dealing with. Great. Either way, the stock market's going to go up. I think the only way the stock market goes down after the election is if Kanye wins. And I like Kanye. But I want my stocks to go up, too. I want them to go up. You don't buy stock for it to go down. Unless you short it. That's the definition of it. For those of you who don't know, I'm not trying to educate people on stocks here, but that's what a short is, okay? If it goes down, you make money. You're betting on them to lose, all right? That's what you're doing. It's really just gambling. A lot of people, know that, but it is just gambling on Wall Street. It's way more fun. You know what's more fun? Bitcoin, dude, because it trades 24/7, baby, all the time. I can always check my Bitcoin and be like, ooh, am I making money? Am I losing money? What's going on with the Bitcoin? Bitcoin's been doing good, too. Bitcoin's been doing good. Without further ado, I do want to get into this week's Porn Star of the Podcast. We've got a real beauty on this week's episode. It is Miss Osa Lovely. Osa Lovely is a porn star who is just oh so lovely. That's where the name comes from. Isn't that fun? Bio again brought to you by Pornhub. Osa Lovely is a porn star who is oh so lovely. That's probably why she chose her unique porn name as a play on words. An ebony beauty with sparkling eyes and a cute smile. She has natural 34C breasts and a 23-inch waist with an incredible 38-inch ass. The butt is where it's at with this one, clearly. Before doing porn, Osa says that she was a bit of a nerd. She's a first-generation American since her parents are from Barbados and Liberia. She was always a businesswoman selling cars and cell phones for her parents' business when she was in college. One of Osa's favorite roles to play in a porn movie is the wife. Fond of playing with intimacy and romance, the role of a mature woman is fun for her. Despite a conservative upbringing, she somehow finds herself Here in the porn biz, how did it happen? Well, she was a model for 2 years, and people kept trying to get her to do something naughty. They wanted her to try porn or at least do adult photos. She was initially judgmental of porn because she didn't realize how awesome the industry can be. Hey, biased much? Then she met a few super cool porn stars and decided she absolutely wanted to become one of them. Outside of porn, Osa is an outdoors girl. She loves to go out on the lake, take yacht trips, and travel abroad to see all of the wonders of the world. This particularly smart slut is also very interested in psychology and neuroscience. Now that she is in the biz for a bit, Osa wants to start producing her own porn movies, and she has a few ideas. Keep checking back here to see if they show up. Relationship status for Osa Lovely is single. She's into guys and girls, lives in Los Angeles, California. Her profile has 4.45 million views. She started porn in 2008. She was born May 10th, 1989 in Texas. She's 31 years old, a Taurus. 32 double D, like I said, 24-inch waist, 38-inch ass, 5'4", 130 pounds, black hair. Here it says fake boobs. It said she had natural boobs earlier. She has a natural 34C breast, but then there it says, oh, she had a natural 34C breast, but then she got a 32 double D enhancement. Oh, okay. See, that's why you read the details right there. That's how you find that out. Her profile has 3.1 million views. And she joined Pornhub 4 years ago. So that is Miss Osa Lovely, this week's porn star of the podcast. One of my favorites. And again, and this is something I've talked about on the podcast, but I'll talk about it again. You know, when my buddy Ryan asks me, why do you love porn? He asked me why I love capitalism. And it's because of things like porn. Things like pornography need the freedom to explore. Communist regimes, dictatorships, things of that nature, they do not typically produce very good porn. Pornography flourishes in a free market environment. Okay? Partially because of some of the poverty that you have, a lot of those poor girls end up being porn stars. Again, one of the beauties of capitalism. A poor girl from Florida, a lot of them come from Florida, a poor trailer trash girl from Florida can grow up to be a multimillionaire with multiple STDs in America. Can't happen in China. Only in America, baby. And Canada. Canada produces quite a few good porn stars, too. Russian porn recently has gotten really good. Obviously, they're not communist anymore. But I'm just saying, they got some good shit coming out. Maybe because of capitalism. I don't know. Maybe Putin has been funding some of these girls. Some real good ones. I will feature some of these Russian girls that I talk about. I swear to God, okay? I have a lot of porn stars that I want to get through. This week, I just wanted to go to Osa Lovely, okay? Osa Lovely is just a fucking stud. And normally you don't say that about a woman who's not a lesbian, but this chick, man, she is a goddess in porn, okay? And, you know, as someone who watches a lot of porn, sometimes you see the fourth wall gets broken sometimes. Let's just say it that way. You know, you see one of the porn stars look over, like Joe Rogan did the other day, look over at a director and say, am I, you want me to switch positions? Or the guy's like, oh, like this, oh, okay, oh, okay. Sometimes you'll see that, okay? Next time you're watching porn, keep an eye out for that, okay? It happens. Make sure you notice it, because that's not the porn that you want to watch. You want to be watching that shit where the actor and actress are so fucking, or whatever kind of porn you're watching. I don't really care. Maybe you got two actors. Maybe you got multiple actresses. I don't fucking know, whatever you're watching. But you want to watch the shit where they're into it. So into it that you're sold that it's real. Okay? And also, some production quality shit. The lighting. Sometimes the lighting's shitty. Okay? Sometimes. You can see shit. You can see the camera dude in the mirror. I'm like, what is this? Kind of ruining the porno experience for me. Just saying, whoever's producing porn, make sure the camera guy's out of the fucking shot. I lose my shit on that, dude. I'll lose a boner in 20 seconds if I see a camera dude. I'm like, I know you're filming it. I get it. That's how I'm watching this. They didn't set up a live stream. I'm not a live streamer. I like watching the high quality production shit. And that's why when I'm fucking watching some high quality production shit that I thought was high quality production. Then I see a fucking camera guy. I'm like, what is this? What is this? Some of you have no idea what I'm talking about, and that's honestly fine. I don't really give a shit. This is the shit right here. This is the niche shit. This is the porn niche shit that I'm talking about, okay? A lot of people have no fucking idea. A lot of people haven't made an extra email address with a fake name just so you could sign up for a porn website. I've done that. Okay? With a name that's not really my name so I can leave comments. I have comments. Clearly, I have a podcast about it. I'm talking about it right now. I have comments. I have notes for a lot of these pornos. They never get them, though. They never get them, and it's kind of disappointing, if you want to be honest. It's kind of disappointing. Sometimes I watch some of this porn, I'm like, this is 2020? This is what we're fucking doing? A lot of it's good. There's a lot of good stuff out there. I'm not here to malign the industry, okay? For the most part, the porn industry, to my knowledge, has been killing it, okay? And I'm sure there's still sexual assault going on, a whole lot of other issues going on. Yes, there is sexual assault in porno. Look it up. James Dean, a guy who has been accused of sexual assault in the porn industry. He's a male porn star. Accused. I don't know if he's been convicted. I don't know if there have been settlements paid out with some of the women who have accused them. I just know there are rumblings, rumors, and like I said, rumors aren't the truth all the time, but sometimes there's something to them. And James Dean has been accused of that. I'm just saying the porn industry has a lot of flaws. But it can only exist in a system like capitalism. It really can. What are you going to have? State-sponsored pornography? Here's the thing. If everything is run by the state, pornography has to be run by the state, right? So now so you're telling me the government is going to determine what kind of porn I get to watch? I don't want that. I want the free market to determine my porn. Because the free market is the best way to do it. Look, if people are watching it, make more of it. If nobody's watching it, probably no one's into it. But here's the beauty of it. Everybody is into something. Everything has a niche. It doesn't matter the weirdest kind of porn you make. If you get 8 viewers on it, you're going to get those 8 viewers every time. Maybe 7, because maybe someone accidentally stumbled. I've accidentally stumbled. It happens. Sometimes you click on something, like I've said many times, the thumbnail lies. The thumbnail can lie to you, okay? And maybe you throw a view to something that you're not really into. It happens. Maybe you tried it out. Fuck it. Maybe it just played autoplay. Maybe you weren't even fapping anymore. You just were washing your hands and flushing the evidence, and all of a sudden it starts playing the next video. It's not shit you're into, but you hit shuffle. That play counts. But I do think the free market is the best way to determine that, because there's no way. Like I was talking earlier about state-planned economies versus a free market economy, right? In a state-planned economy, the central government would make all the decisions about the supply of different types of food going out to the different countries. You're telling me that the government, who probably couldn't even accurately predict demand of different foodstuffs for their people, you're telling me they're now going to predict what kind of porn people want to watch? Come on. Come on. You know that's bullshit. Okay? And I know porn is a crude example, but it's actually the perfect example. Because it's something a lot of people engage with, like it or not. And I know there's people out there like, I'm a porn addict, coach. I was addicted to pornography for 35 years, and then I kicked it. And now I'm here to help you kick your habit. Fuck that. Does it control your life? I can't. And look, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm an addict, all right? I'm addicted to all kinds of shit. I understand. Sometimes you just got to quit porn. If it's that big a problem, quit. I get it. If it's not, don't let someone talk you into it being a problem. It might not be. You got to know that for yourself. Okay? To me, there's a lot more art that goes into it than like beer. I love beer, but it's like, and I know there's a lot of craft brew experts and blah, 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 but it's like, yeah, but also a lot of it is just, I would just get hooked on the alcohol of it. And maybe sometimes I get hooked on the thrill of jerking off. I don't fucking know. I'm not here to say anything about it other than it works better in a free market. Okay? Also, just look at alcohol. You want the state to determine what kind of alcohol? Dude, no communist country is inventing seltzers. That's capitalism. Seltzers exist because of capitalism. I think I win. That's the argument. You don't have seltzers in communist countries. You know why? Because we haven't sent them there yet. We're probably going to send them there. They're going to be like, wow, shit's pretty good. Check and mate. Are you kidding me? The seltzer argument is all you need. If you're arguing capitalism, communism, where did seltzers come from? Well, why are there so many of them now? Well, because they found out people love them. That's how it works. All right, you put an idea out into the free market, and if people fuck with it, you keep putting it out there, just like seltzers. I don't even like seltzers. Most people do, though. That's why they're popular. That's why people fuck with them. Why not? Do it, man. I don't give a fuck. Because that is capitalism, baby. Communism, the government said no seltzers. No seltzers. You're drinking a seltzer. I'm going to report you to the authorities. Or vice versa. You're drinking a beer, not the state-sponsored seltzer. I'm going to report you to the authorities. What the fuck, man? Who wants that? I don't get that. Yeah, but we're all going to have healthcare. Bro. I agree we should all have healthcare. I agree healthcare in the United States is totally fucked up. But communism's not the answer. There's so many steps before going full communist where you can get healthcare and still have a free market to figure other shit out, like seltzers and porn. But people don't want to hear that shit, man. People want to live in their utopias. People want to live in this glorified world that they've created that doesn't exist, by the way. But they want to live in that. And you know what? I don't give a fuck anymore. You want to live in that? Live in that, dude. It's not the real world. And that's why they get all pissed. They're like, how did Donald Trump, how did he win? How did he win? Because in the real world, a lot of people didn't like Hillary Clinton. And in the real world, a lot of people don't like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I saw a commercial today with Kamala Harris on it. I was like, God damn it. I sometimes forget she's on the ticket. She's awful. She's the worst. Just the worst, man. But the best is Alex Jones. And I'll say that till the day I die. Alex Jones is the fucking man. Thank you, Alex Jones. I appreciate you enlightening me even further than you have before. To Tim Dillon, I say, I love you. Please keep doing what you're doing. To Joe Rogan, I say, I love you and I respect you. And dude, I hope you're not compromised, bro. I hope Spotify's not talking shit. If you need someone to kick Spotify's ass, I'll fucking do it. They're Swedish. I'll kick Sweden's fucking ass. I'm German. I don't give a fuck. You want to bring the heat, Sweden? You want to bring the heat, Spotify? We can bring the fucking heat, bro. Bring the heat. I'll throw down with Spotify, dude. I don't give a fuck. And you can listen to this podcast on Spotify. You might be listening to it right now on Spotify. I don't give a fuck, dude. I'll throw down with Spotify. Fuck those Swedes, bro. And I pay for Spotify. I love Spotify. Great service. But if you fuck with my Joe Rogan, let me just tell you right now. Let me get Matthew McConaughey, George Bush, Alex Jones on here. Let me go Asianize Texas style. If you fuck with my Joe Rogan, I'm gonna fuck with you. You got a Spotify? Don't start fucking with Joe Rogan. Because once you fuck with Joe Rogan, you know how many motherfucking Joe Rogan fans there are out there? You probably do, because you're Spotify and you would have access to that kind of information. You probably knew that kind of information before you paid him $100 million. You probably know exactly how many Joe Rogan fans are out there. But I'm just telling you, Spotify, if you fuck with Joe Rogan, shit's going to get real ugly for you. Shit's going to go down. Shit's going to get fucking nuts, bruh. I'm going to cancel my subscription. I like the Hulu, though. I like the Hulu. It's a nice benefit. Again, capitalism. Deals, baby. Deals. Like communist television shows, bro. It's approved by the government. Great. I know we have censorship and shit like that in the FCC and all that crap here, but bro, it's still way better than communism. But the health and the no property, nobody owns anything. We all own it. We all own it, dude. Have you been to a public park? When everyone owns something, nobody owns something. It's simple shit, dude. You've had roommates. If it's like, yeah, well, you know, we have a rotation on the dishes, you know, it's like we all kind of pitch in and, you know, do a little bit. What happens? The dishes pile up because nobody gives a fuck. When you live on your own, dude, if the dishes pile up, that's on you. All right? If you do the dishes, that's on you. And I'm not here telling you to do the dishes. I'm not some dish Jordan Peterson, all right? I'm just telling you. Individual responsibility, individual property rights, John Locke. All right? That and porn is why I root for capitalism, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for checking out this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next week. If there is a next week, dude. I don't even fucking know. But if there is, dude, I'll be back talking shit from the basement. Peace.